The top 10 of the 2012 draft truly had it all and went down as one of the best classes of the 2010s. From generational wide receiver prospects who ruined their careers with legal issues to superstar defensive legends who have a chance of becoming Hall of Famers one day, it's a perfect reminder of the risk and reward nature that comes with the draft. But what actually happened to the careers of the top 10 from this draft?
First pick in the 2012 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Andrew Luck, quarterback, Stanford.
Luck entered the league as one of the most exciting quarterback prospects the NFL had ever seen.
He absolutely has. What was Andrew Luck's billing coming out? That he was a surefire franchise quarterback. A lot of the scouts said he was the best quarterback they'd scouted since John Elway.
He quickly proved his worth by amassing 4,374 yards and 23 touchdowns in an impressive rookie season, which also featured 255 more yards on the ground and 5 rushing touchdowns. It was clear that the Colts had hit the jackpot, with Luck leading the team to the playoffs in his first 3 seasons, showcasing everything you want to see from a top quarterback. He had a strong arm, a smart footballing brain, and impressive athleticism for his size. Unfortunately though, all of this success was marred by a long list of injuries that he faced throughout his career. His various injuries included a lacerated kidney, torn abdomen muscles, and a persistent shoulder injury, which forced him to miss the entire 2017 season. In 2018 though, everything appeared to be back on track when a 4,593-yard, 39-touchdown season won him the NFL's Comeback Player of the Year award. However, in a shocking turn of events, that would happen to be his last season in the NFL. Luck abruptly announced his retirement 2 weeks before the start of the 2019 season.
But I am going to retire. This is not an easy decision. Honestly, it's the hardest decision of my life.
He cited the fact that he had been stuck in recurring rehab cycles, which had essentially prevented him from living the way he wanted to live and taking the joy out of the game. It was a complete shock to the footballing world, and not one that was received well by the fans. It was a what could have been career, with Luck finishing on 23,671 yards and 171 touchdowns through the air, in addition to 1,590 yards and 14 scores on the ground.
The Washington Redskins select Robert Griffin III, quarterback, Baylor.
Now with RG3, many people were very hyped to see him go in this draft class, but all that hype would ultimately be defined by the injuries that he faced throughout his career. Griffin burst onto the scene in his rookie season for Washington, winning the Offensive Rookie of the Year award thanks to his stunning dual threat skill set. As a passer, he posted 3,200 yards and 20 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions, but it was his ability as a rusher that made him stand out. He added 815 yards and 7 scores on the ground to make him one of the league's most dynamic weapons and earn him the prestigious Rookie of the Year award. And it was safe to say that the sky appeared to be the limit, but a devastating ACL tear in the 2012 season's playoffs proved to be his downfall. And I think the saddest part of all of this is that Griffin just had a long and just really devastating road ahead of him in rehab. But on top of this, it wasn't helped by the fact that really they rushed him back onto the field to get back out there and really never let him fully recover. And clearly not fully recovered, Griffin underperformed and was benched for Kirk Cousins later in the season. Sadly, the former Offensive Rookie of the Year never refound the form that made his rookie season so spectacular either. It was a dramatic fall from grace, with Griffin even somehow taking snaps at safety on scout team defense prior to the 2015 season, before eventually spending it as an inactive third-string quarterback. He then tried his luck at the Browns and Ravens, but more injuries and inconsistent play prevented him from ever establishing himself. He has now found much more success as a TV host and even a YouTuber too. Now at the 3rd pick, we have Trent Richardson, who was all the rage in 2012, becoming the first non-quarterback taken in the draft. His selection by the Cleveland Browns at 3rd overall came with a lot of hype, and life in the NFL started to treat him very well at the beginning. As a rookie, Richardson posted 950 yards and 11 touchdowns, while also taking on 51 receptions for 367 yards and 1 more touchdown. The bruising back paired his size and physicality with shiftiness as a receiver to make him a versatile threat for Cleveland. There was one area of concern for Richardson though. He had only managed to post an average of 3.6 yards per carry, which is very underwhelming for a top 3 pick. And unfortunately, this trend continued in the start of his sophomore year, with Richardson just posting 105 yards at 3.4 yards per carry across his first 2 games. And in a shocking turn of events, this forced the Cleveland Browns to make a very dramatic trade that nobody expected, sending their former 3rd overall pick to the Indianapolis Colts.
But Trent Richardson has been traded to the Indianapolis Colts.
And as it turns out, the Cleveland Browns actually made a great trade by dumping Trent Richardson while he was still at such high stock value, before just watching Richardson's complete decline from a distance.
Trent Richardson is the worst running back of all time. All time. There's a freshman that goes to University High in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, named Michael Hollins, that I will take on my team right now in the NFL before I got Trent.
I need to tell him be nice now.
I can't believe they gave him $600,000 guaranteed, and they gave it to him to go away. They did. Can you imagine that? Okay, if somebody said, man, I'm gonna give you all this money just so you never run the ball.
That's not the first time that happened.
So you never run the ball for us, okay?
He barely averaged just 2.9 yards per carry for Indy, resulting in just 458 yards and 3 touchdowns. It was more of the same for the following year, forcing the Colts to cut ties with him after just his 3rd year in the league. That was that for Richardson in the NFL, failing to make another roster and in the end settling for a job in the Canadian Football League in 2017. And I mean, long story short, that is not what you are expecting or ever want from a 3rd overall selection. At 4th overall, we have Matt Kalil, who was selected by the Minnesota Vikings. Kalil was widely regarded as the best offensive tackle in the class, and while his career did get off to a good start, it was pretty much just a steady decline from the moment he was selected by the Vikings. As a rookie, he started in all 16 games, earning his first Pro Bowl selection as a replacement for Trent Williams. It was an excellent induction into the NFL for Kalil, who was a part of the impressive offensive line that helped Adrian Peterson reach 2,097 yards in his MVP season. Unfortunately though, that was pretty much as high as it got for Matt Kalil. He remained a regular feature on the offensive line for Minnesota, but he saw his sacks conceded totals increase from 7 across his first 2 seasons to a total of 12 in his 3rd. Not only that, but he also saw his penalty totals also go up, which meant that when he suffered a season-ending injury in 2016, he had improved enough to warrant another contract with the team that drafted him. He somehow did manage to get a 5-year deal with the Panthers, where he and his brother Ryan became the 3rd set of brothers to play on the same offensive line in the NFL. He started all 16 seasons in his first season with the Panthers in 2017, but more issues with his knee resulted in him missing all of the 2018 season and eventually being released in 2019. All in all though, this is just another career that was cut short because of injuries that he did sustain. Yes, he did underwhelm for being the 4th overall pick in this draft class, but for him to go on and play at least 82 games in the NFL does show that he did have some longevity in the NFL.
The Jacksonville Jaguars select Justin Blackman, wide receiver, Oklahoma State.
It's a great pick.
Expectations for Blackman were at an all-time high for a wide receiver coming out of the draft, especially since he had been recognized as the nation's best wide receiver through the crowning of the Biletnikoff Award not once, but twice. His dazzling Oklahoma State career earned him a spot in the College Football Hall of Fame, so Jags fans were pretty excited about seeing their new recruit on the field. As a rookie though, it was a slow start for Blackman. After just 10 weeks, he hadn't managed to top 67 yards in a game, and he only had 1 touchdown to show for it. However, any fans who were beginning to doubt him were suddenly drawn back in a 236-yard 1-touchdown performance against the Houston Texans. This is what they were expecting from the 5th overall pick, and for it to come against a division rival made it all the sweeter. Unfortunately though, there would be no repeat of that spectacular performance for the remainder of his career and that season. Following his 865-yard rookie season, Blackman got off to the worst possible start in 2013 as he was suspended for 4 games for violating the league's substance abuse policy. He did manage to get back on track with a 136-yard performance in Week 5 and then a stunning 190-yard performance in Week 6, but another violation 2 weeks later would mark the beginning of the dramatic spiral that would end his career. Several other run-ins with the law and drugs tell the unfortunate story of a troubled star whose career was ultimately ruined by addiction.
With the 6th pick in the 2012 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Morris Claiborne, defensive back, LSU.
The LSU standout was highly regarded for his athleticism, coverage skills, and playmaking ability, making him a popular pick for America's team. There were certainly signs of promise for Claiborne's rookie season, in which he started 15 games, recorded 55 tackles, 8 pass breakups, and snagged 1 interception. This dude was proving that he could hold his own against some of the league's best wide receivers. But yet again, injuries began to take their toll. Various knee and hamstring injuries would result in him playing in just 14 games across his 2013 and 2014 seasons, before playing in just 18 games across his 2015 and 2016 seasons. With the team not willing to keep him beyond 2016, Claiborne opted to sign a 1-year deal with the New York Jets. He spent 2 years in New York where he managed to stay healthy and play some of his best football, finishing his time there with a 2018 season that saw him play 15 games and amass career highs with 57 tackles and 2 interceptions, including 1 return for a touchdown. Unfortunately, this wasn't enough to encourage the Jets to sign him to a longer deal, but there was a silver lining. With his release meant that he ended up signing with the Kansas City Chiefs in 2019 to play a minor role in their Super Bowl winning campaign.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Mark Barron, defensive back, Alabama.
Barron made an immediate impact on the team, recording 89 tackles, 1 interception, and 10 pass breakups. Another solid season followed in 2013, which is why it was such a surprise that he was traded to the St. Louis Rams halfway through his 2014 season, a move that he said made him feel disrespected. And surprisingly, it was with the Rams that Barron started a transition into the linebacker position, with the team thinking that they could utilize his speed and tackling prowess to become a key player at the heart of the defense. He recorded a career-high 116 tackles to go along with the 1 interception and 3 forced fumbles in 2015, validating the Rams' decision to change his position. Barron remained a key player in the Rams defense, helping them reach the Super Bowl in the 2018 season. Following that Super Bowl season though, Barron was released by the team and signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he was unable to convince them to sign him to a longer deal. It would be his last season in the NFL, bringing an end to a productive career that featured 710 combined tackles, 9 interceptions, and 5 forced fumbles.
The Miami Dolphins select Ryan Tannehill, quarterback, Texas A&M.
The quarterback out of Texas A&M had a solid start to life in the NFL, averaging 3,865 yards and 22 touchdowns per year across his first 4 seasons in the league. And don't get me wrong, the production from Tannehill was good over these 4 seasons, but it didn't really lead to any crazy success for the team otherwise. And unfortunately, during a 2016 season in which Miami was 8-5 after 13 games, Tannehill suffered a partially torn ACL injury, which he then fully tore during the preseason in 2017, forcing him to miss the entire season. After struggling on his return, Tannehill was traded to the Tennessee Titans, where it was presumed he would be a backup. However, it didn't take long for him to come in as a replacement for a struggling Marcus Mariota. And much to everyone's surprise, Tannehill led the Titans to the playoffs, throwing for 2,742 yards, 22 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. It resulted in a career-high passer rating of 117.5, earning him the NFL Comeback Player of the Year award. The team made it all the way to the AFC Championship game, where they finally lost to the eventual Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Tannehill unsurprisingly then signed a 4-year extension to secure his services as the starting quarterback for Tennessee, where he took the team to the playoffs 2 more times in the next 2 years. He since then has been replaced in Tennessee, as we all know, with Will Levis, but he's currently a free agent and could sign as a backup somewhere, even though he is 36 years old, but he still is in the league. So there may still be more to come from Tannehill, but for now, he sits on an impressive resume that features 34,881 passing yards, 216 touchdowns, and 115 interceptions. Along with those stats, he has also earned 1 Pro Bowl and 1 NFL Comeback Player of the Year award as well. Now, with possibly maybe the second best player out of this draft class, I don't know, is the 9th pick overall in 2012, which belonged to the Carolina Panthers, who selected Luke Kuechly, a linebacker out of Boston College. Kuechly was an instant hit for the Panthers, leading the league with 164 tackles and earning the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. He then went one better in 2013, recording 156 tackles, 2 sacks, and 4 interceptions, which was enough to make him the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year that year. Like, I mean, it was safe to say at the 9th overall pick, the Panthers had found a gem, with Kuechly's intelligence, tackling ability, and instinctive play making him one of the most dominant players in the league in his first 2 years. And I mean, he never let up, with Kuechly earning a Pro Bowl selection in every single year between 2013 and 2019, while also being selected as a first or second team All-Pro in every season during that stretch. Like, this dude was a star inside the Carolina Panthers defense, including in the incredible 2015 season that saw the team reach the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, there was no happy ending though, meaning Kuechly never got his ring he deserved. The tackling machine retired in 2020 at the age of just 28, citing the physical toll of the game and the desire to preserve his health. And although that the early retirement did again come as a huge surprise for Kuechly at the time, he is still one of the greatest and best linebackers to ever play at that position in NFL history, finishing with 1,092 tackles, 18 interceptions, 12.5 sacks, and 7 forced fumbles across his 8 years in the league. And following up the quality pick of Luke Kuechly was the selection of another defensive gem in the form of Stephon Gilmore, who became a Buffalo Bill with the 10th overall pick. The highly anticipated cornerback had a reputation for his physicality, intelligence, and coverage skills, and it didn't take long for him to show them. Gilmore was heavily involved as a rookie, starting all 16 games, recording 61 tackles, 1 interception, and 16 pass breakups. He enjoyed a successful time in Buffalo, which featured a Pro Bowl selection in 2016, but it was when he joined the New England Patriots that his career properly took off. He quickly became a cornerstone of the Patriots defense, earning first-team All-Pro honors in 2018 and 2019. The 2019 season in particular is what made him a New England Patriots legend. His 53 tackles, 6 interceptions, and 20 passes defended earned him the Defensive Player of the Year award, while also helping the Patriots win the Super Bowl. He was truly instrumental in helping the team get the job done with his effectiveness in shutting down some of the league's best receivers, earning him recognition as one of the best to ever play the position. And since then, Gilmore has tried to recreate the magic on several different teams that he's been a part of, but this season he has teamed up with Trayvon Diggs and the Cowboys to see if that maybe he can be that 1-2 punch on the cornerback position with Diggs and see if he can help get the Cowboys to the Super Bowl in 2024. Up to now though, his impressive career features 561 tackles, 31 interceptions, and 140 pass breakups. But without a doubt, the 2012 NFL Draft was a real mix of talent, potential, and even some disappointing failures. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know what draft class we should do next. We are actually going to be doing 2013 next, but let me know what you guys want to see more of so that way I can do more of it. But let me know who your favorite on this list was and tell me who you want to see or what draft class you would want to see me do next. We're going to be doing 2013, 2014, and 2015, so those are already in store and we're already doing our research on those ones. But let me know any other draft classes or any other player stories that you guys want to see, and I will make sure to get those done. Also, make sure to join my Discord if you guys want to give me more video ideas. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next one.